Exactly 2 years ago yesterday, I left the promised land of paradise, and with fear and trembling came here. I must admit I felt a little like Jesus today in the gospel, as though I had been led out into the desert to be tempted by Satan. And if you remember the first weekend of the homily I preached, I did not lay out a very pretty picture of how Connellsville was perceived by priests and the rest of the diocese. Nobody wanted to come here, and the burning question was, who's going to get punished by being sent there? I was more than just a little bit apprehensive as I set out from paradise, came down 201 here. I was also filled with a sense of adventure, for I knew so much like a challenge. And believe you me, this was a challenge bar none. But now the 2 years have elapsed. I think things are a little different. And I think now I can say, happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again. Let us sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. Indeed, I feel that happy days have dawned here in the jewel of the Yough. And I have seen so much good in these past 2 years. So after spending 2 years of hammering again and again and again on the negative, now is the time to celebrate and rejoice in all the positive. As I celebrate my 2nd anniversary here, and as you mourn the fact that I have been here 2 years, there has been so much good. I see people coming together. A big indication is every Sunday they look out. There's more and more mixing of people from one church to another. Fewer and fewer people who are of the attitude, this is the only church in which I will set foot. I've seen those walls start to break down. I've seen people and organizations from one parish reach out to another. A case in point, over the past months, St. Rita's Social Hall has been under construction. The Christian mothers at both Immaculate Conception and St. John's have welcomed the St. Rita's people to use their facilities. When there are, for example, mercy meals after funeral. A powerful example is that this year, the annual St. Rita's Christian Mothers Day of Recollection on the Sunday before Palm Sunday, unable to be held there because of the hall not being completed, will be held here at St. John's in the church and in the social hall. Powerful sign. This year, what we are doing for Lent, our business manager had to call the Catholic accent the other day to talk to the secretary. The secretary there remarked that everybody at the accent is astounded by all that we are doing down here in Connellsville. They couldn't believe we had 2 whole pages of stuff going on. That's a powerful sign of the vitality of the community, the fact that things are happening, that we are alive. Now, having put out all that to do, having asked so many people to give themselves to lead Bible studies, discussions, all kinds of different things, please take advantage of those opportunities. Don't let the people sit there twiddling their thumbs because nobody bothers. People often complain, the church doesn't give us any opportunities, and then when we do give them, nobody takes advantage. Don't let that happen. And if you did not keep the insert from last week's bulletin, as I instructed you to keep, you can find it online on the parish website, addressed on the front of the bulletin. And we have additional copies at the parish center. A plug for the one thing that I will be offering during Lent on Monday nights from 6:30 to 7:30 at Immaculate Conception Church. A series on the Mass, because I've found through the years that most Catholics don't really understand what's going on at Mass. What we do, why we do it, the history behind it. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn more. And that's just one of the many opportunities being offered. And that those are a sign of life, especially if people take advantage of all that we're offering. Yet another example. For 2 straight years, something's happened here that's never happened before. All 3 parishes met their diocesan target on the diocesan Lenten appeal. Now, the first Sunday of Lent is the Sunday that we're supposed to roll out, not a barrel of beer, it's Lent, there'll be no beer. We're rolling out the DLA, and I'm supposed to stand up here and talk to you about it and go on and on and on. But as I said last year, if we do what we're supposed to do and the money comes, I won't sit up here and bore you by going on and on endlessly about it. Because trust me, there's other things about which I'd rather speak, and I'm sure there's a lot more about which you'd rather hear. But that itself is another sign. That says loud and clear to the diocese that, look, Connellsville realizes it's part of a greater community. It's not an isolated entity unto itself. They're playing nice with everybody else. And believe you me, that message has been heard in Greensburg. Perceptions of Connellsville are changing. It's no longer seen as a big black trouble mark on the map. Seen as a place of vitality and growth because of what you are doing. And my heart bursts with pride as shepherd of this flock to see all that has happened. Those are just some of the many things that have been happening. Beautiful signs of building community. Now as I begin my 3rd year, it's time to move forward full throttle into the future. We are going into a future that will be different from our past. And anybody who has not yet realized that is living on another planet. It's unavoidable. Change is part of life. But one of the cornerstones of my vision from the very first moment I set foot here was the importance of honoring our history. Oftentimes, as organizations move into the future and morph and become something new, the trend is to obliterate the past as though it never existed. That is a huge mistake. It is not what I want to see happen here. We can never forget from whence we came. We are products of the various parishes that make up the community of Connellsville. And those must be honored. Some by now might have realized that I have a penchant for putting my own name on things. It seems that little by little, the tagline, the jewel of the Yough, is catching on. I even see it on t-shirts, which by the way, I didn't do myself. My new passion is to get the West Side, get people to refer to the West Side by its historic name, New Haven. But here in the community, after consultation with the pastoral council, talking to some people in different groups throughout the parish, I'm announcing today some changes in nomenclature for some of our buildings. In an attempt to break away the exclusive parish identity, I'm tired of saying the offices of St. Rita's Rectory, my house of IC Rectory, or something happening at St. John's Social Hall. I think we need now to move beyond that, but at the same time honor the history of each individual place. So effective tomorrow, well actually effective right now, each rectory building will now bear a new name, generally reflecting the first pastor, the founding pastor of the place. St. Rita's is very easy. The offices will now be at the Vivo Center. in honor of Father Henry Yough, the first pastor, who was long-serving pastor of that parish. Some here may still remember him. Here it was a little tougher. The first pastor, Father Viner, lasted less than 2 years. He died of pneumonia. So we're going to name the rectory here Yough Place after Father Irvin Yough, who was the pastor largely responsible for building this parish. Because remember, this church started across the way with what was then Holy Trinity afterwards. And building up this community. Also, which was near and dear to my heart because I came from Paradise, he was the pastor who out here in Connellsville founded St. John's in Perryopolis to minister to the Catholics in the Star Junction area. Because back then, the Protestants were in town and the Catholics were out in Star Junction. Immaculate Conception, the rectory there, my residence will now be known as Waters Hall, after Father Robert Waters, who was the first pastor there. And then to the social halls. The social hall here will be called Moravic Hall, after Father Stanislaus Moravic, the longtime pastor here, I think something like 1918 to 1954 or even later. Some here, I'm sure, remember Father Moravic. And his first parish, incidentally, was also St. John's in Perryopolis, so I have a double connection with him. The hall at St. Rita's will be called Busey Hall in honor of Father Michael Busey, whom we all remember. In fact, to say it that way makes it sound like he's dead. The poor man isn't dead. We already have planned a dedication for all the renovations that took place there in May, which also happens to be the month of Father's 95th birthday. So hopefully we'll be able to have him there to share in the celebration as we rename the building. The social hall at Immaculate Conception will be called Scaberis Hall, after Father Michael Scaberis, who did a lot of work up there, served up there many years in the not too distant past, and also did much for the whole community. These may seem like small changes, just semantics, just words. But words are powerful. And I think this is a powerful way of honoring our history, but at the same time moving forward and breaking down a little bit of the excessive identification with one parish or another. I've told in the office, we had a staff meeting this week, that from the office we're to use only those names. We're going to slowly but surely they'll sink into all our heads, and when we use them, we'll know what we mean. Shouldn't be that difficult. Over the past months, we've been doing a lot of work on the offices at De Vivo Center. Painting, covering over the lovely 70s paneling with ripping up the lovely carpets to expose the original hardwood floors. Most of that work has been done by our maintenance staff, so it hasn't cost us anything. And the other stuff we've done has been done pretty much dirt cheap. I don't like to spend a lot of money. I like to do things cheaply but nicely, so hopefully it'll all turn out well. And the impetus for that was not simply to make it look nicer, update it, but also to rearrange where people are in the office to help people work more efficiently. The business staff of the office tends to get bogged down with phone calls and having to do things when people come in. They hardly ever get their work done, which is the reason why the office is closed to the public on Thursdays, so that one day the business can get done without interruption. So moving people around, I've tried to make them a little less prone to interruption so they can be a little more productive. And one thing that I want to see as the capstone of this whole project is in the reception area, the reception office, behind the main desk there. Either a mural or something we do with blowing up pictures and putting them on wallpaper. But I want representation of the 7 churches from which we came. And I wonder how many can even name all 7. Immaculate Conception, the mother parish, the first, the territorial parish. St. Rita's, St. John's, Holy Trinity, Sacred Heart, St. Emery, and Our Lady of Mount Carmel, the original Italian parish that was active for a few years at the beginning of the 20th century. I want those all represented there so we don't forget that that is from where we came. In fact, I probably should leave some room because eventually down the road, and please don't go saying that Father Bob said this is happening and start more rumors. Eventually we'll be partnered, I'm sure, with St. Aloysius, so we'll have to leave room for 3 more parishes, St. Aloysius, St. Vincent de Paul, St. Polycarp. Again, that might be many, many years down the road, but I think anybody that looks at reality knows that someday that's going to be what's going to happen. But I think it's important that we honor that past and do not forget it. Tomorrow we're instituting something else that I had mentioned months and months ago. We're finally ready to have our volunteer receptionist in the office, in the front office, to man the phones. So from now on, when you call during business hours, you will get a human being, not a recording, say, push 1 for this, 2 for that, 3 for that, 4 for that. I hate them in any environment, and I've always thought it's a horrible thing to have as a church. Now that we have people that will be dedicated just to that task, we can do that. They'll also be there to greet people when they come in, to answer a lot of the simple questions that don't need to go to the secretary or the parish manager, to take messages, to direct you to where you need to go. Just to be there to listen. A lot of people that come in the office just like to talk. And that's wonderful. But sometimes all the talking prevents the business staff from getting the work done that they need to do. Now we'll have people there that can sit and chat all day if you want. Wonderful. And I'll even have a new entryway or a little curate there, give you free coffee. But please don't come and hang out all day. Right now, that'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. The office will still remain closed to the public on Thursday. But if this works out well, and if we get more volunteers, maybe we'll do that on Thursday as well. As long as people respect the fact that the parish manager won't be available because she'll still be trying to get work done on that day, but we can still have the office open. I'd eventually like to have volunteers there into the evening so that people can come in, because a lot of people work and can't get there during the day. I know parishes in Pittsburgh that have 2 shifts that are open at 8 o'clock in the evening. I think whatever we can do to be more opening, more welcoming is vital. The Benedictines have the saying, welcome all as Christ. And I think that's the attitude we have to have, especially as a parish community. We certainly have to have that attitude in our own individual lives. But certainly that's important in the professional aspect of the parish life. If you're interested in volunteering, we need more volunteers so people don't have to do it too often. You can do it once a month maybe. If you want to get out for a morning or an afternoon, just sit there and answer phones, shoot the breeze with people that come in. We can have 2 people in at the time so you can talk to each other. It can be great, but it's a wonderful opportunity. And a lot of people want to get out. Maybe they're stuck at home, don't have much to do, retired. Come spend some time. It's a wonderful opportunity. And more and more and more, those are just some of the things that are happening. And now I think it's the time that we start moving more forcefully forward. I spent 2 years observing, studying, learning about the community. Now's the time to move forward. And I can always say that my heart bursts with pride at all that's been accomplished. And I'm even more excited about all that is to come. For certain, we are at a good place. We've turned a corner. This is an exciting moment in the life of the Catholic community here in Carmel. And that's because of you, because of your openness to the Spirit, because of your willingness to move beyond this is how we've always done things. If there is one death knell, it is that this is how we've always done it, or we've never done it like that before. Inexorably, such attitudes lead straight to the grave. We're moving beyond that. Good things are happening. Happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again. Let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. Indeed, brothers and sisters, happy days are here, and they get happier and happier. Can I hear an amen? Amen.
Thank you, Father, for your dedication to the church, and congratulations on your 3rd year.
Okay.